Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today we are doing a classic Sephora try-on. This was one of the few times that I've gone into a Sephora store. It's pretty rare. I usually buy things online, but I was in Disney and I was there literally to buy one thing, and I walked out with way too much because so many new launches have dropped, and it was exciting, and there were products that I was genuinely excited about spending my own money on to try, both just selfishly for myself, but also to share with you guys in different videos. I am already moisturized and SPF'd. However, I did self-tan, so I know that any foundation I bought, I was buying for my normal skin tone, so it's not gonna match. So we'll try to bronze and make things look even. I know it's not that deep, it's really not. But I know some people get very upset about that. This is the one I wanna try on camera today. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. My normal shade would be shade number 2. I've already used this a couple times and I so far have really liked it. So this would be about the 4th time I've actually used it. So I have liked just applying it to my hand, grabbing my beauty sponge, and just going to town. I'm not wearing a primer today, you will notice. One thing I've realized about myself recently is that I get my sponge too wet. And I almost feel like for example, if I wet it in the morning and waited like 8 hours and I was like freshening up and I grabbed my sponge, that level of moisture that's still left is like the perfect level, because I feel like when it's too wet, I can't quite get foundations to blend in the way I want. So I really made sure I squeezed it out a lot today. And I feel like all of the foundations, when I've been using it that way, look so much better. It soaks up the right amount of product, but still applies it really nicely, a nice layer. Now we are gonna do a wear test at the end of the day, and I'm so curious because this foundation is really pretty when you first apply it. But I haven't worn it since I've been home. But this one I just think is so flawless, like the name, flawless finish. I didn't do it with a primer today because I kind of wanted to see how it would do without one. I've tried it with luminous ones, I've tried it with more pore filling, and it looked pretty nice throughout the day, but I'm curious, how does it do just on top of like moisturizer and sunscreen? Yeah. All right, we have a couple of concealers to work with. So this first one I'm dying to try is the new Magic Vanish Under Eye and Face Cheat. So this is the shade number 1. Fair, it's like more of a salmon colored, which should do really well at canceling out like blue. It reminds me so much, I haven't used it, this is truly my first impression, but it reminds me so much of what the Bobbi Brown one does that I love, yeah. And it blends in really fast. This kind of a product I don't usually bring out here. I usually truly just focus it where I need that blue kind of covered. Now it says it's supposed to be okay for face though, so if you're trying to like cover some stuff on your face, this just might do the trick. Looks pretty good. I mean, that's exactly what my Bobbi Brown one does. Now, it's not like this is like insanely more expensive or cheaper than the Bobbi Brown, but just another option. That's one of my favorite kind of products, and this is the type of thing I would use, again, when I'm in a rush and I don't have time to do just full-blown concealer. I just need to get that blue area covered, which I really prefer every day. So with the BB cream, this would work really well. I'm curious to see how it wears throughout the day. Frickin' Charlotte Tilbury, they're pricey, but man, they know what they're doing with their packaging. It's always so pretty. The other concealer I wanted to try is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. I got number 4, and when I was swatching them in the store, I wanted one that was closer to my real normal skin tone versus super brightening. I know I sound like a broken record because I say that all the time, but I also thought the teacher in me was like, I love it's like a cute little pencil, oh my gosh. It's supposed to be like cake free, and who did I see using this? Was it Tati? And she was like, oh my gosh. So I'm so curious. 24-hour long wear, waterproof, smooth application, blends seamlessly, feels lightweight, doesn't cake or crack. Wow. I don't try a lot of Benefit new launches, and it's not like I don't want to. It's just that I don't. I don't know, like it's as though a lot of them don't stand out to me all the time, which is funny because I actually really love like the Benefit box blushes, like especially Dallas, my favorite. I just cracked open a new one of those bad boys. It's one of my favorite powder blushes of all time, shade wise, wear time wise, everything. Well, that blended in nicely. I'm curious, my fine lines just won't quit, so they're gonna really put this to the test because this is some real skin right here. That really did blend in seamlessly. They were not joking. I want to know, how will it blend in with the finger? Like, is that too much? Maybe. I feel like that's about how much I did on there. That brush I always use is the bomb. The Sephora number 56. So it takes a little longer. I think I put a little bit more over here, but again, shade match wise, if you're near me, number 4 is very neutral. So it's not gonna be super pink or yellow. It's right in the middle. Okay, this is so far really nice. Like, I already am like, oh, this is going straight into my vanity because I cannot wait to use this again tomorrow. And it's kind of like what I wanted the Tarte Creaseless Concealer to be like. That one I actually really do enjoy, and I cannot wait to use it more in the winter when my skin's a little drier. But I really like that. And it's one of those that it's thicker, it's super emollient, but it's almost greasy looking. And because of that, I think that's why it's supposedly creaseless, and yet it obviously totally creases. So this has a little more coverage, but it reminds me of the Milk Flex Concealer that I really like, and I wear the shade Fair in that if you're curious. Again, a very neutral, almost gray toned concealer. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean if you know what I mean. Oh, wow, I'm doubling down on that phrase. Anyway, where it just... I just had this weird moment, I can't explain it, where I had this realization that all of the dumb things that I say is heard by a lot of you guys. And I can't explain the weird out-of-body experience I just had other than that. Like, it was like I flipped the camera on myself and realized that I'm just in my room alone. And so when I say dumb things, I'm like, oh, like a couple of you guys are hear it. But the reality is a lot of you guys hear it. And it's scary and exciting and like, I'm just so thankful for you all, but it also is like terrifying because I'm like, Jessica, don't slip up, girl, because people will eat you alive. They'll eat you right alive. I am in a funky mood. It's been a long time since I've just like sat down and filmed like this because I've been out of town, and then I've done some just other types of videos this week. I'm really excited about that concealer. I didn't know if I would like it or not, but wow. Oh. The next product I totally bought on a whim. This is the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP. It's their like ultra fine brow pencil. I bought it. I got the shade Black Brown, which is definitely the right shade for me compared to my like hair color. How bizarre is this brush? I cannot wait to use this. That's literally the only reason I bought it, because I was like, I want to know what that is like. So let's use it to kind of brush the brows up. This is so bizarre. It's really soft though. It doesn't feel like rough on the skin or anything. It's just totally different than like a spoolie I would use. And hey, if you're feeling like this is too much bougie-ness for me, I do have a drugstore video I'm filming here in a few days, and I think it'll be up after this one, and if it's not, again, same thing. It'll be linked below and above, where I'm doing just all drugstore, because there's a lot of new drugstore launches I am freaking pumped about, so don't feel left out. You can definitely get like hair-like strokes if you want to. And it's not too creamy where it just goes all over the place, but it's not too dry that it's not showing up. It's right in between, which is my sweet spot. That's what I like. I know not everyone likes that, but that's what I like. I'm liking the brush. Can I get just the brush? I mean, I'm liking the pencil too, but do you really have to spend this amount of money? I'm not so convinced. Everyone say it with me. What's my favorite brow pencil? That's right, the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. And that one is $5.99. So can I just get this? Maybe I'll just like detach it. I act like I can't just use it with this, but it's the snob in me that wants my own brush of this. You know what I mean? Does anyone sell a brush like that? Somebody let me know down below. All right, we're gonna leave it there for now. We're gonna see how this kind of wears as I finish my makeup. The one thing I will say about like my LA Girl one that I love is I almost always have to reapply it at the very end. Not like the entire thing, but kind of fill in some areas because it just moves around a little bit easier than like hopefully this does. So I'm hoping what you're paying for is also the staying power. We shall see. All right, we're gonna do my eyes. I'm not gonna worry about an eye primer because I used these shadows without an eye primer the other day and it looked so good and it lasted all day. So I was like, let's try that again, because anytime I can save some time, I was gonna say money, but that too. But anytime I can save time, I'm gonna do it. And these shadows, I feel like don't even need a primer. Now, if you have crazy oily lids. What kind of Freudian slip was that? If you have crazy oily lids, you probably still will want a primer. You know yourself, you know. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk eyeshadow quad. I don't even know if I said that. Here's the deal. I've tried one of these quads before and it was, I'll put the one on the screen. It was like the purplish one. I finally decluttered it because I just didn't like it. They were colors I didn't really use. I didn't really understand the quality because I felt like the formula was like, some of them were super buttery, but then like the glitter one was always kind of dry and not as pigmented. But I've learned since that she intentionally, according to her, she intentionally puts one that's more of just a top coat. That's not like supposed to be an opaque shadow. So that's what that's supposed to be, and that's how we're gonna use it. So I'm gonna start with this shade right here, and I literally put this pretty much everywhere, all over the lid as like this beautiful kind of wash, and then kind of up into the crease, and then have the residual part on the brow bone. I don't like go straight in, but It's meant to be kind of like a primer, I understand, all over literally from your lash line all the way to the brow bone. And it's such a unique shade because it catches the light differently in all of those zones. So I'm like, I would buy that shadow on its own and carry it around with me. So now I'm going to use the same brush and grab like that lighter shade, put it in the crease. All week long I have been using this, and it's so easy, you guys. It's so easy. So I'm gonna grab maybe a little bit more of a like detailed brush and grab this darker shade, and I just put this kind of in the outer corner and on the lower lash line. It's nothing crazy dark, but it's definitely a little bit deeper than the other shades. And then I'm just gonna literally take my fluffy brush and just blend everything together, even the lower lash. I just feel like it's one of those looks that works, and it's almost seamless in a way. You can't really screw it up because the colors are so complementary and light, and it's totally my cup of tea. So the next thing I picked up was from the Sephora brand. I got a couple more things from the Sephora brand just because I feel like it's a brand other than brushes I really haven't delved into too much. But it's the Sephora retractable eyeliner, waterproof, and it's in the shade matte brown black. And what I want to try, it's got a little smudger, so I want to, oh, and a sharpener, nice. I want to try to line the upper lash line and kind of smudge it a little bit. But when you it's like the creamiest I've ever, like it's like butter. Butter, oh my gosh. I want to try to smudge it a bit. It smudges beautifully, but it still keeps that depth right at the base of the lash line. This is like my perfect product. This is way more creamy and like blendable than the MAC one I've been using a lot. I do enjoy, but it is a lot harder of a pencil, so you have to kind of heat it up. This one's like ready to go down to clown right away. I just love, like I said, it's not crazy smudged, but it's enough that it just softens it. It looks so almost professional, even though I am the farthest thing from a professional. The new brush I picked out from Sephora, this is my favorite line of brushes. This is the Pro Diffuser number 64, and I bought it because I wanted to be able to apply powder bronzer. I've never found a brush that was the right shape and size and density. Some of them are too dense, and so the bronzer's too much, but then others are so big and fluffy that I can't get it in the areas I want. So this is gonna be a good test. So this is a favorite of mine I've had for a while, the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze in Fair to Light. But it's so light that if I use a fluffy brush, it's really hard to see. But I like that because I want it to be easy and diffused, but I've just felt like I've never had the right brush for this. So I'm just gonna tap it off a little bit. There we go. So you can still see it, but it's not so, oh boy, that builds up quite. See, I've never even like gotten to know that it builds up really quickly. Whoa. So beware, because this brush can really get the job done. But again, this is, I can't stress to you enough, this bronzer, if you use a fluffy brush, is so diffused and light, it's almost hard to see. But actually, I need to bronze it up anyway because I am a little bit tanner everywhere else, right? So I'm excited to play with this some more. You can't go wrong with any of the Sephora brushes, you guys, I'm telling you. And this is diffused enough that you could blend out maybe like a liquid or cream blush with it or bronzer. So speaking of that, the next product, it's been sold out like online forever. I've never been able to get my hands on it, at least on Sephora's site, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm little like beauty light wand. I already have the contour wand and I love it. I have the highlight wand and I love it. So I figured, well, let's give it a try. So you turn it to open it and you squeeze the product up into it. I know some people don't like this packaging. I didn't mind it for the longest time, but it's starting to bother me because it gets so freaking messy with the cap. And when you travel with it, it's not as fun either. So it's such a gorgeous glowy pink. So I'm gonna apply this the way I've been applying liquid blush lately, which is with just a regular old duo fiber brush. This is the Morphe 404. e.l.f. makes a great one. Oh my gosh. Again, it's that supermodel glow, man. Like where it's almost like blush and highlight in one and your skin looks so stupidly healthy. What in the heck? It can get heavy-handed if you're not careful. Digging that. Again, I'm so curious to see how this wears throughout the day. All right, so the highlighter I got was this RMS one, and I already love the Living Luminizer. This is the shade Magic Luminizer. I've tried Master Mixer and it was a little too dark. I think I've since gotten rid of that one. This one is like a little bit more of a champagne tone versus like the Living Luminizer is like a white. And I love that because that gives like a glossy dew and I've loved it for years. But this one has a little bit less of a white tone. So let's just see. I'm already like glowy. Oh my gosh. Oh, this might be kicking the little living luminizer's booty because it's just a little bit more, I think, cohesive with my skin tone. So before I mascara, I want a powder. This is not brand new to me, but it is newer. The Milk Blur and Set Matte Loose Setting Powder. I was like, all right, let's see. I like the packaging, that it's got like a little squishy, pushy, downy thing. A net. So I'm just gonna kind of get a little bit on my powder brush and then just get it in the areas I really need it, because we're a little too glossy here. I definitely think this blurs, but here's the thing. If your foundation is not blended perfectly, looks awful. Let me kind of get some magic happening here. I think I had too much of that foundation on my nose, and so then it was just like moving around. Or maybe it just doesn't sit well on your nose, Jessica. Have you ever thought of that? We'll just see. So the mascara I want to try, this is one that was sent to me, so I didn't buy this, but I honestly am just curious. It's the IT Cosmetics Lash Blowout. I used to love the Superhero Mascara. I swear to you, they changed the formula, because every time I've used it in the past year, I've not liked it. I don't know what's going on. So maybe I'm insane, maybe my tastes have changed, or maybe they changed it. I am convinced. I wonder what you guys think. I am totally convinced that brands, not every brand, but I do think sometimes, and I'm not accusing IT Cosmetics of this, it's not what I'm saying, but I'm convinced that brands will have a bestseller and it will sell really well, so then they'll reformulate it to make it a little bit cheaper because they know great reviews are already out there, people are hearing about it, you know what I mean? And so the buzz is already there, so then they cheapen it so they can make more money from all the sales that are coming in. What y'all think about that? Let's just see. It's got the kind of a brush I like, kind of a L'Oreal Voluminous type classic mascara wand. So far, okay. Not too gloopy or anything. Someone was trying to compliment me in a comment, I think. And they said, maybe the meanest and funniest comment I've ever read. It was, I don't even remember what video. It was a recent video, but she said, she or he said, wow, for like a beauty guru, she's pretty haggard, but in an endearing way. Something like that. And I was like, that was the meanest, I think, compliment I've ever gotten. That kind of hurt my feelings. Anyway, okay. No, I don't like this mascara. It's not doing anything by way of volume. Now, maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is just to, let me look up the claims of this. I'm ill prepared today, I guess. IT Cosmetics Lash Blowout Mascara. All right, so it's in partnership with Dry Bar, which is why it looks like the Dry Bar products. The specially designed wand is inspired by the technology used to create barrel hairbrushes, okay, and works with the biotin infused formula to deliver a voluminous look that lasts. If volume is the game, no. Disagree hard. Like, that feels like a Wet n Wild mascara I've tried that I didn't like. Like, that's what it feels like, which is a shame because the feel of the brush is nice. I just don't like the formula. It's somehow making me look like I feel like I have less lashes. Are you guys seeing it, or am I being crazy? So I also want to try these Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Liners. So the shade I have here is number 3 Rose Wine. And these were crazy creamy when I swatched it in the store. I hope, is there a sharpener on the back? Yes, good, because it's retractable, which is lovely. However, it's hard to get that line again, so it's always nice when they have that. So this just looked like a really nice shade. So I want to share with you guys, I finally tried out a Pat McGrath lipstick. I've never ever tried a Pat McGrath product before. However, this one in the shade Realness, I wore this to a wedding the other day and it was so comfortable and beautiful. My lips never looked dried out. I just feel like the shade is perfect for fall. It's definitely a little deeper, but it is not. I feel like a lot of colors like this can pull so deep that if you're fairer like me, it's like, whoa. And if you're going for that look, go for it. But like for me, I'm not always going for that deep, vampy look. And so this shade is just so perfect. But you guys, I can't express to you how comfortable these are. And I am like, I know it almost pains me to say that because I know some of you guys are like, no, but I'll never be able to afford it. I will do my best to try to find a dupe that is this same kind of a formula. I don't know what they're doing right, but literally the first time I put this on, I was in the car with my husband, Tyler, and I put it on and I said, oh. And he's like, what? I'm like, this lipstick. It's just, it's so comfortable, you guys. It never felt dry. Like I said, I did have to reapply because it really is more of a classic lipstick, but I like that about it. I don't mind reapplying if it means my lips aren't going to get dry and weird all throughout the night. So it's very moisturizing lipstick, but it doesn't crawl all around your face. So I'm gonna go about my day. We're gonna see how this wears. I'll check in at the very end of the day. Okay, it is 9:40, so it's been on for trying to think of the time I put this on, probably about 9 or 10 hours. It actually lasted decently well. So like the blush did not move. I was in the heat. We went on a walk. I went to the grocery store today. And so I was in the heat and humidity for at least a little bit. And the only place it's missing is right on the tip of my nose. It actually stayed okay on the other areas of my nose. I don't think it's like perfect. It's not super pretty up close, but it's there. Way too light compared to this, especially now that the tan has settled in. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh. But the brow product stayed really well. The eyeshadow, again, don't love the mascara. Really loving this liner. Like, I can't wait to use the eyeliner tomorrow. I think that highlighter looks really good, but the blush, like I said, did not budge. The concealer does not look as crepey as most concealers look on me at the end of the day. Period. I was looking in the mirror like expecting to be like, yep, that's how it looks, like how it always, but it actually looks better. And I can't wait to try that one a few more times to see, like, am I in my head about it because they're saying it's cakeless, but it looks better than like every other concealer I've used in that region. So I can't wait to use it again. And remember, I didn't even set it with powder, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I feel like this was a pretty good round of new products. I'm trying to think of something negative to say about any of it other than, like I said, the mascara still held a curl. Like, I can't fault it for that because it definitely held a curl, but it's a little bit more of a natural mascara, and that's just not my cup of tea. You see what I mean? It doesn't look terrible. It's just different than what I like. So all in all, wow. What a roundup of products. Really good stuff. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I love doing these kinds. I feel like I dog on first impression type videos, but I do like doing them. And I know you guys enjoy watching them. There's some of my higher watched videos, and I get it because there is so much new stuff out there and it's exciting. But I also try to splash in like shop my stash type videos, which I just did one. I can link below. Because I do think it's important to use what you have. So don't feel like because I'm showing you all of these, it's me telling you, you have to go out and buy. You don't. If you already have a lipstick you love, you don't need another lipstick. If you already have a foundation you love, you don't need a second, third, fourth, fifth foundation. You don't. But I just want to share with you guys what's out there. As I mentioned earlier, stay tuned for my new drugstore try-on video that'll be coming up very soon if it's not up. And other than that, I hope you'll subscribe and stick around. I do 3 to 4 videos a week, beauty and lifestyle, kind of a mix here on my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.